Hello everyone, this is Maurice from the M&M Model Railroad, and this is build number 03, and this part is basically about installing the lights for this engine. And as you can see here, the lights that came in yesterday, and the lights are by Streamline Back Shop, and you can check out their site at sbs4dcc.com, and you can see what I have here is the lights for the front and rear, which are 4 lights, and it also comes with some resistors and I have the 2 ditch lights, and they also come with resistors as well. And we are not going to use these resistors because the Decoder already have resistors on them. Alright, so let's get started with the process, and I'm going to start with the ditch lights. So stay tuned. Okay, I have taken the lights out of its packaging, and I got the housing, the ditch lights housing ready. But what I noticed is that the lights has a resistor at the end, and it looked like it's on the common line, if I'm not mistaken. And that it's not too much of a problem. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them off. It's actually a 1K resistor, and the actual Decoder has a 2.2K resistor, so I really don't need this. So I'm going to cut it off. And what I also done, I have unraveled a certain length of the 2 wires together. Now the reason why this is done is because you want to have enough room to actually, let me get my little pointer ready, my little screwdriver. Okay, you want to connect it to your auxiliary and your common. So this will be the first ditch light, which is going to be auxiliary 1 and one of these commons here, and then the second one goes to auxiliary 2 and any one of these commons. So that's pretty simple. Now when it comes to mounting this little micro light into the housing, you have to make sure that the yellow part is facing up towards the lens. Now I have a little technique of doing this, and you got to be a little careful because what you do is you're going to glue it, and I got everything prepared. I took a little bead, made a little bead here, and I'm going to dip the little light part into that little bead, and then I'm going to insert it in the hole. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see a little bit. Insert it in the holes in the ditch light housing. And luckily it broke off clean when I had removed them, and there's no evidence of the bulbs or anything like that, so that was pretty good. Now this is relatively easy compared to the original models that I've done. They were just a pain in the butt. So the next part of the video is going to be the actual headlights and the rear lights. So Stay posted. Okay, people, I'm back. While the digital lights are drying, which I have right over here, I basically did a brain dyslexia move when it comes to the actual drilling of the lights. Come to find out, I used too small of a bit, and because what I did was I test fitted the light, and it's the light right here. And one thing I noticed, these are better cut or better quality than the Ulrich. The Ulrich, I had to basically shim the edges because they weren't straight. These are very straight. This is very well done. Anyway, the bit that I was supposed to be using is supposed to be a 5/64 of an inch, whereas I stated before, I believe 1/16 of an inch. Nah, 5/34 of an inch. That is the correct size for boring out the holes. So after I do this, then we can actually install the lights. Okay, I reamed out the holes for the lights, and as you can see, they can fit now. They fit relatively easily. Okay, the next thing I'll show you. Could put the lights in there, and also in there, if you could see it. Now the fronts are going to be tricky because of the cab is basically in the way, and I really don't feel like taking the cab apart just to put these lights in. I did manage to get them in with my other engines. I just had to take my time. Use a good set of tweezers when doing this, and also the glue I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Clear Part Cement Window Maker from Model Masters, and I'm just going to put it on the tip of the light, and then once I do that, then I'll insert it inside, and I'll have to let it dry. It takes about an hour to dry, pretty good. And what I like about this glue is that it's kind of flexible. So if you do make a mistake, you actually can pull them out with a little 10 or 11 care, but they will come out. As opposed to hard glues, you know, once you get them in, forget it. You're going to have hell on wheels trying to get them off. And plus you can make a nice bead in front of the fiber optic, so it'll give it a lens effect. So, okay, just hang tight, and before you know it, we had these lights up. The ditch lights are really going to be fun trying to get them in, but I'll explain that later. Okay, I have installed the lights in their places, and the only thing left to do is to wait for them to dry. And once they dry, then we will start the soldering process. So in the meantime, I'm going to play a little Arma 3, maybe a little iRacing, and by that time it should be dry, and I'll do a little adjustments, and I'll be ready to solder them to the board. Okay, everyone, I have let the glue cure overnight for the lights, and I'm already in the process of actually soldering the connections to the decoder. Okay. What I'm doing now is I'm actually installing the ditch lights first, because I want to test those out. Because the ditch lights are pretty tricky to actually do, since the wires are very thin. You have to handle these with extreme care, because they do break if you handle them too much. And as you can see, I have taken the decoder off and I placed it over here in a safe place. And what I'm doing here, this is actually common right here, so I soldered that. That's for the 2 leads that's going to common, and the other leads are going to set up on auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2. And if all is done correctly, they should light up. And I also pre-soldered all the connections. This is for the tail lights, and this is for the front lights. So when I'm done, they will all be soldered. Okay, we're back. We ran into a problem. One of the headlights was defective. It didn't work, and I had to remove it from the model, which is a bummer, because that basically stalls this little project. But what I did was I got in touch with Streamliner Backshop, and the ones that had made these lights, and they got back to me right away, and they said they're going to send another one. So hang tight, Jay. Just hopefully in a few more days we can get this thing wrapped up, and this will be coming home to you. But so far, the lights do work, the rest of them, as I will demonstrate. And let's see. Okay, at least one of the headlights work. And ditch lights. Pretty bright too. I'm going to switch to the rear lights. If you can see. And then for a bonus, I put in a cab light. Alright, so basically we're all set up. And the only thing is just gotta wait for that new light to come in. Once the light comes in, and then I guess there'll be at least 2 more segments. There'll be a an 04 build segment. That will be programming the decoder and fine-tuning it. And once that's all done, then she's ready to go home. So take care and peace out. Stay tuned.